Hey there, welcome to another edition of The Night Sky this week for July 19th, 2021. So happy you could join us. We've got lots of things to talk about regarding the night sky this week, so why don't we dive in? Welcome to everyone who's on the chat. The chat room's open. I've got comments coming in. I'd love to see where you're watching from. Where are you joining us today? I see we've got Maggie from Texas. We've got Bob from Spokane, Washington. We've got folks from everywhere, from France and Austria, across Canada in many places as well. Fantastic. So wonderful to see all of you wherever you're watching from. I hope you get some clear skies this week. And of course, before I begin, I also wanted to just mention, I just had an article published in National Geographic for the family section about the explanation of what dog days of summer mean. Have you ever wondered, or have you ever heard of this saying? It dates back for centuries, millennia, in fact, back to ancient Greeks and Romans. Were calling the hottest part of the summer the dog days of summer. And there is a celestial connection to this saying. And I explain all of that in my article on National Geographic. I'll put a link to this article in the comment section below after this broadcast, so you can check it out and read up on that. And also, I mentioned a few little tidbits on things to watch out for in the coming weeks in the summer of the Northern Hemisphere, and of course the winter time in the Southern Hemisphere as well. So check that article out. I'm really excited about that. And I just wanted to put a big shout out. Thanks to those folks at National Geographic for working with me on that wonderful, really fun piece of writing there. So why don't we dive right into the planetarium program and see what's up in the sky this week? So here we are. We've got the sky set up for July 19th, 2021. And this is just after sunset, looking vastly a super wide angle view of seeing things from the southern sky on the left-hand side to all the way to the northwest sky on the right-hand side. And what you'll notice right away, pinning down the low western horizon, again, soon after your local sunset, on the 19th, Monday, you'll see a super bright Venus planet that looks like the most brilliant star-like object in that part of the sky. You can't miss it. And then, of course, way over to the left on the southern sky is a waxing gibbous moon. It's heading towards a full moon this Friday, but it is really a dominant force in the evening sky. And it's something that we'll talk about as well in this broadcast this week. So why don't we start with the Venus apparition right there. We'll zoom in on the western horizon, and what you'll notice is that Venus is not alone. It is actually joined by a number of objects. So again, this is set up for Monday, the 19th of July, just after sunset, maybe about a half hour after your local sunset would be a great time to look for Venus, because you'll also notice popping into view, it is joined by a much fainter but distinctly orange object, star-like object, and that is another planet, planet Mars. So here we have in the sky, just after sunset, two of our neighboring worlds clustered together. And there's a vast difference, of course, between what the two look like to the naked eye. If you zoom in with binoculars, this is what you would see with binoculars. You'll be able to get both planets in the same field of view. So this is something that would be very neat to do. And again, this is for Monday, July 19th. And what you'll notice is that Venus is also joined by another star-like object, and that is Regulus. Now, Regulus is the lead star. By that, I mean the brightest star in the constellation Leo the Lion. This is a very traditional springtime constellation for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. That's when it's at its best. And now that we're in the summertime season, it's really bowing out, sinking very quickly, following the sun and getting lost in the glare of the sun. But before it does get completely lost, Leo's lead star Regulus is still shining brightly enough that you can see it with the naked eye. And that is what you're seeing here in this representation in the planetarium program. It's showing us what the three will look like: Regulus, Venus, and Mars. And again, through binoculars, you would be able to, if you position your binoculars in the right way, you should be able to get all three star-like objects in one view. And of course, in this case, 2 out of the 3 objects are not stars, but planets. So a great view. Now, what's really interesting is if we look over the course of the few days, perhaps you're clouded out on Monday night, or you've seen it, but take a look what you'll see over the next few nights as well. So this is, I said, Monday the 19th. Then on Tuesday, this is the view on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, look at that. Venus and Regulus will be together, much closer together. They'll be at their closest together. This, again, is on Wednesday night, the 21st of July. Look at that. That will be a beautiful sight. Again, with the naked eye. Better yet, if you have binoculars, you can really zoom in on the 3 objects. There's Mars by itself down there, and then you've got Venus and Regulus. Remember that Regulus is a star. It's 77 light years away. That is how far away Regulus sits from us. So it means that light takes 77 years to reach your eye. And in comparison to, Venus is much closer. It's 11.4 light minutes away. That's equal to about 206 million kilometers. Much, much closer. It takes only 11 minutes for light to get to your eye from Venus, while from Regulus, it takes 77 years. And then, of course, Mars down here is 377 million kilometers away. So light takes just over 20 minutes to reach your eye from Mars. Mars looks very faint and feeble now to the naked eye, even with binoculars. That's because Mars is really on the, it's located quite far away from the Earth. In fact, if we would magically be able to go and see where it is, where all the planets are in relation to Earth, this is what you'd see. So we're magically close up to Mars. We'll just zoom out, see the orbits. All those colored lines are the orbits of our neighboring planets. And I'm just zooming out so that you would be able to see the orbits from above, the plane of the solar system. There we are. There we are. We've got the Earth down below. And let me see here. Let's just keep zooming out. There we go. Let me just make it so that it's easier to see. So you've got Earth on one side of the sun, and then you've got Venus and Mars. And look where Mars is in relation to Earth. Do you see that? Do you see how far away? It's literally on the other side of the sun. It's about as far away almost that Mars can get. So this is why it takes 20 minutes for light to reach us from Mars, right? From Mars, this is how long it takes. I'll just move it a little bit so it's more from above. You can see that. There's Earth, there's Mars. So it takes 20 minutes for the light to travel one way between our two worlds, and then 11 minutes, almost half the distance that Venus is from Earth. You see, it gets much closer. So it takes only 11 minutes for the light to travel from here, and 20 minutes from Mars. So that's why Mars looks so faint, number one, in our sky. That's one reason. And the other thing is it's so close to Venus. That's all an optical illusion. You can see that there is quite a bit of distance between our two planets, but they appear lined up close to each other from our vantage point here on Earth that you see below. So it's really all about our vantage point. If we can kind of put it at this angle, you can see the two planets from our vantage point looking from Earth appear close together and close to the sun as well. This is why just after sunset, they're visible to us in the sky. This is the reason why they appear where they do in our sky this week. I hope that explains that. And I think it makes it really neat to be able to appreciate the celestial dynamics, the mechanics of the solar system, to lay it out like this, at least virtually in an animation like this, so that you do appreciate what you're looking at in the night sky. It makes such a difference in the quality of what you're looking at, and that understanding, that deeper understanding of the placements of these planets. So I just wanted to share that with you because I think that makes a big difference in when you're doing your observing of the night sky. So check that out. That is basically the moon, I should say Mars, Venus, Regulus, the sun, all clustered together in one part of the sky. So check that out. And if we go forward in time a little bit more, this is on Wednesday night. Look at this. By Thursday and Friday, look where Regulus is. Now it's Venus, Regulus, and Mars. So this is the view that you'll get half hour after sunset on Friday night. So this is by Friday night and Saturday night and then Sunday night, the end of the week. Regulus is wedged in, sandwiched in between Venus and Mars. And remember, all of this is happening very low to the western horizon. So you want to find a spot that's clear to that low western horizon. No trees, no buildings or hills. Try to find a nice, clear, unobstructed view of the western horizon to check this wonderful clustering of objects in the sky. It's really a neat thing to check out. So here we go. We're going to skip back to Monday and put it up just after sunset, a little bit darker. And we're going to move over to the southern sky. And look, there's our friend, the waxing gibbous moon. So the waxing gibbous moon on Monday the 19th, while all the action with Venus and Mars is happening on the western sky, just pivot and set your gaze to the southern sky, and you'll see that beautiful moon pairing up with an orange star. That orange star is the lead or brightest star in the constellation Scorpio, or Scorpius. And Scorpius is marked by Antares. That's the orange star, marks the eye or the heart, depending on the artist's point of view of the lead star of this giant mythical arachnoid. And this star is about 550 light years away from Earth, meaning that's how long? 550 years it takes light to reach your eye when you see it. And it's one of the most brilliant stars in the night skies of the summer, and it's visible right across the world. So wherever you are watching this on Monday night, 19th, that's when we're broadcasting right now, tonight, after your local sunset, you'll see, and if you see the moon, you should see an orange star fairly close to it. and that is Antares, that lead star in Scorpius. Just a wonderful lineup. And of course, if you've got binoculars and you get to look at Antares close, we've talked about this before on previous broadcasts, you'll notice that M4, this beautiful giant globular cluster that's 7,200 light years away. This is what it looks like through a big telescope. It's a giant ball of stars, over 100,000 stars all clustered together. Just a beautiful sight. It's number 4 on Charles Messier's Deep Sky object list, and it's one of the favorite objects and easier objects to find if you're somebody new to observing the night sky with your telescope. You can use Antares as a wonderful guidepost to locating M4, this globular cluster, right next to that bright star. And of course, on Monday night, you'll even have the moon close by. But remember, there's going to be a very strong, bright glare from the moon. But at least it gives you an idea of where Antares is right now. It'll be there in the same part of the sky night after night for this week. Once the moon is out of that part of the sky, you can come back to Antares on a dark night and look for M4, that beautiful globular cluster that's over 7,000 light years away, and it's a cluster of over 100,000 stars all packed together. It's just a beautiful sight. So the moon is going to be really neat because as it's heading towards its full phase on Friday, you'll see that it's going to move and kind of glide up to some other objects as well. So if we move the moon off to say Tuesday night, it'll be on to by Tuesday night, you'll see the moon switch over to another angle from Antares, just another lineup there, and then it'll be moving into Sagittarius by Wednesday night. And Thursday night, it's really smack dab right in the middle of the Sagittarius constellation. Let me put this into a little bit later, and you can see once it gets darker, maybe an hour or two after it gets dark locally where you are, you'll be able to see there is a cluster of stars beside it that's in the shape of a giant teapot. This is called the celestial teapot. It's a great landmark for the Sagittarius constellation. Highly recommend that, to look for that as well. Of course, the glare of the bright moon will make it more of something that you might want to use binoculars to pick these stars off, or wait later into next week when the moon has gone off from this part of the sky to really see that celestial teapot. But what's really neat is this is Thursday, and I should say by Friday, by Friday, it's cozying up with Saturn in Capricornus constellation. So by Friday night, this is Friday night, Saturday night, Friday and Saturday, it'll be really skipping beside Saturn. And of course, if you have a small telescope, you can see the rings of Saturn very, very clearly by zooming in on allowing the moon to act as your guidepost. If you've never seen Saturn and can't find it, have had trouble finding it, the moon will be a wonderful guidepost for tracking Saturn down. And through a telescope, of course, this is the kind of view that you will see through a telescope. If we just zoom in, there you go. You'll see Saturn with those beautiful rings. And of course, right next to it is one of the largest moons in the solar system, the largest one that Saturn holds court to, that is Titan. The moon Titan can be seen with a handful of other moons through a backyard telescope. It's really a beautiful sight. So where is Saturn? Right next to the moon. And this is happening Friday and Saturday night. And by Sunday night, guess what? The moon will pop over to another bright, even brighter star-like object. And that, in fact, is planet Jupiter in the belly of Aquarius, the constellation Aquarius. Again, all this action happening in the southeastern sky late at night, probably close to around your local midnight time, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, that around time period. You'll see the near full moon pairing up with these two brilliant gas giant planets. A great way to end up another stargazing week. Again, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've got a few things on your calendar for this week. with planets, and the moon really acting as a wonderful guidepost to tracking down some cool stuff in the sky. I'll have some sky charts on my timelines. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, thank you so much for joining. Please show your support by giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel, and you won't miss any future episodes. As always, I wish all of you clear skies. Bye-bye.